So my name is Jennifer Lee. I actually grew up here in Ohio, and I went to Midview High School. I was a foster child that came out of Green Acres in Oberlin. My foster parents were my basketball coach. They brought me in and they raised me. I played basketball at Cleveland State University, and then I went into the insurance business. And I was always taught, my mom had committed suicide when I was 10 before I went into the orphanage. And I was always taught by my father you were basically worthless unless you made $100,000 a year. So that was the theme and the background of my family. If you made $100,000, my father would pat you on the back and say you're a great kid. If you did not, he pretty much didn't want anything to do with you. So I went to Cleveland State University, and I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't have a lot of parenting background per se, and guidance, and like I said, I made a lot of errors. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and chase this $100,000. At least maybe I'll get a hug from my father and he'll be proud of me, and maybe something miraculous will happen. So I went into the insurance business, gung-ho, worked like a dog, and I got married. I was unsuccessful at that marriage. I got married again, and I was unsuccessful at that marriage. And I did it again, and I was unsuccessful. Meanwhile, I had 2 children, and I was very financially successful in what I was doing. I ended up having my own insurance company. I made well over $100,000. I bought my dream home. I have my 2 children living in my home. Nothing materialistic that I wanted for, but I wasn't happy. And I knew I wasn't happy. And even though I made that $100,000, and I so much wanted to fax it to my father and say, hey, here's the $100,000, the year I did it, after I did it, I didn't feel any different. I had more money in my pocket, but I sure didn't feel any different. And I know I wasn't really happy. I was definitely in a job that did nothing for me. So a girlfriend of mine came over, and she was sitting on my couch, and I was sick with the flu, laying in my office, and she's like, Jennifer, you got to see this guy that I'm dating on Match.com. I'm like, Molly, please, I don't feel good, get out of my house. But anyway, so she's pulling up people on the internet. So she said, well, I'm going to be you. And she got on the Match.com, and she says, oh, he's got to be a doctor, he's got to be this. And she put in, how you put in that search criteria, and up comes this magical person. Well, up pops this magical person. And she sends an email and says, I'm not writing you for me, I'm writing you for my friend. She's interested in you. And I'm like, Molly, you're such a jerk. Whatever. Ignored it. The next day, I get an email forwarded to me from my friend Molly, and it said, I'm sorry, I don't respond to emails of this nature, and good luck in your searches. Well, as you women all know, when you get rejected, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even try to get a date, and I just got rejected. So anyway, I wrote an email back to this individual, and we started corresponding back and forth. He happened to be in Japan at the time, and he is now my current husband. So don't give up on Match.com, and I could be an advertisement for them. So anyway, this is all part of the story. So I get married to this wonderful husband of mine, and a girlfriend of mine calls me up, and she says, Jen, you want to do a fitness competition? I'm like, what? Now, I've always been like a size 14. You know, I'm athletic, but I was never like fit. I loved Pop-Tarts, I ate granola bars, I loved peanut butter, ice cream. I sort of thought I ate healthy, but you know, I didn't really give a whole lot of thought to it. So this girlfriend of mine says, let's do this women's tri-fitness competition. I'm like, well, what is it? She's like, well, you do this military obstacle course, you do this bench press, you jump on this box, you do a shuttle run, and then you got to get in a bikini. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. So this was February of 2006. So anyway, peer pressure, as you all know, does its wonders, and I said, okay, I'll do this thing. So I know nothing about lifting weights. I know how to play volleyball. I played basketball at Cleveland State, but as far as like weight training, welcome. As far as weight training and doing anything, nutrition, I knew nothing. So I'm a very determined person, so I went to Borders. I don't know where else to go, and I started Googling to get information. How do you train for an event that I have to be physically fit because I have to climb a 10-foot wall, I have to go over a 15-foot cargo net, some monkey bars, a high jump, things like that. I have to bench press 60% of my weight, which is 90 pounds. I have to do it 50 times. And I have a 20-inch box I have to jump up and down on 50 times as fast as I can, a shuttle run, and then, without passing out, get in a bikini in front of a bunch of people. So I started putting a plan together, and through this process, I learned so much about food. First, I didn't know how to cook. I'm a really good cook now. And I didn't know how to combine foods. I didn't know protein, carbohydrate, fat. I don't know what the hell that was. So anyway, I started using myself as an experiment. And I said, well, everything's saying that I should eat 6 times a day. So I'm going to try that, and I'm going to try eating 6 times a day. Everything's saying that I need 20 to 25% protein, 50 to 60% carbohydrate, 20 to 30% fat. So I start tinkering with that. So I start following this plan. I start going to World's Gym, and I start working out. And wow, I'm starting to see difference in my body. So I'm like, wow, in the morning I get up, and I'm, as you get out of the shower, you're checking yourself out a little bit, see how you look. And I'm like, wow, I'm starting to see a little bit of a change. So it's February. I believe I was 28% body fat. I weighed 176 pounds. And by the time, the competition was in November. By November, I was 9% body fat, and I weighed 166 pounds. So I didn't lose a whole lot of weight, but the conversion, that's why I always tell my clients now, I said, oh my gosh, do not look at the scale, because mine was so minute, the amount of weight that I lost, but the transformation in my body was just miraculous. So anyway, I want to share with you the photo that was taken when I did the Women's Try Fitness. Noreen, if you could pull that up. You can leave it on that one if you want, and just go on the internet to the athlete gallery. And then the one to the left. There you go. So anyway, so this was my first competition. Afterwards, after this was over, I cried. My kids were chasing me down. Come on, Mom, you can do it, you can do it. And after it was all over, I got home and I went up into my office and I started doing my, working on my insurance and the mortgages that I was doing. And my husband came up into my office and he said, if you could do anything in the world that you wanted to do, what would you do? Now, how often do you get asked that question, right? So I'm like, I don't know what I would do. I said, well, I think I would continue coaching volleyball, because I'm the volleyball coach here at Lorain County Community College. And I think I would go into personal training and something into nutrition. I've learned all this information. Obviously, it's working. And I think I want to share it with everybody. So he says, well, why don't you go do it? I'm like, Steve, I'm like 38 years old. That would require me going back to school, sitting in class with you, and I really wasn't quite ready for that. And he's like, honey, just go do it. I said, and what with my company? He's like, we don't need it. Go follow your heart and do what you want to do. So in 2006, November, I started coming to Lorain County Community College through the exact program that you're here doing today. And since then, I have started my own business. The entrepreneurship part of me didn't go away. And I said, well, gee, what do I do now? So I went through the group exercises. Is there anybody here going to do group exercise instructor? Yes, yes. Anybody else? No? So I went through the group exercise instructor. That was wonderful. I really highly recommend it. I was scared to death because I have absolutely no rhythm. So like Lisa would say, Jen, just listen to the beat. And you have to follow, a cardio class. You have to do grapevine and stuff. Forget it. I can't. So I said, well, what else can I do? And she says, well, you can do plyometrics. I'm really big into the BOSU, strength training, jump training, plyometrics. I increased my own vertical jump 4.5 inches at age 40. So Lisa was very kind and helped me through that so I didn't have to have any music. So if you ever come to any of my classes, there will not be any music, so I apologize. It's just because then I have to time things, and then I'll get all messed up, and I don't want to do that. So I became a group exercise instructor. I currently now do LiveSmart classes, and LiveSmart, because I don't have my degree yet, I have exercise physiology 2 and kines, I believe, and psychology left to go before I'm finished. I'm only permitted to teach the LiveSmart classes, which are for employees only of the college. So you'll see me up on the track or see me out in the field house, and the people that I'm teaching are the actual employees here. So I'm hoping at some point that I'll be able to teach a class, for students. That would be wonderful. So I started my own business. So how did this happen? It's funny. Lisa and Deanna said, "Hey, Jen, you want to work out with us?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So we start working out together. Does everybody know Deanna Jenkins? Yeah, she's a hoot. She's a hoot. So Deanna and Lisa and I are, we start working out, and we're power walking. And has anybody done the cross-country track out here? No? Oh, you guys got to go check stuff out here. So we're walking up that really hard hill, and I said, "Guys, I had a dream last night." And they're like, "What?" I said, "I had a dream. I saw a Ziploc bag in my dream, and there was an emblem on it. And it was a business of mine that I was doing with food." And they're like, "Well, that's cool, Jen. That's great." So I said, they're like, "Well, maybe you should do something like that." And I did. "Do what?" And I always bring like these really cute little packages. I'll show you the foods. Like this is my breakfast. But everything I package in containers like this. So they're like, "Well, why don't you do something like that?" So anyway, I went home and lay down in my bed, and I'm sitting there thinking, and this name came to me, Be Fit for Me. And I'm sitting there thinking, how many of us are going to go to our high school reunion or a wedding and we bust gut to get in the best shape possible? Come on, be honest. You have a hot date, homecoming, prom, something. An excuse to get fit, right? An excuse to get fit. So I said, well, gee, this name, Be Fit for Me. Be fit for me because I want to be fit and I want to be this way, not because I want to go impress somebody at my high school reunion or at a prom or a homecoming. So I woke up that morning and I had the name. I said, okay, well, gee, now what do I do? I got this great name, Be Fit for Me, now what do I do? So I took Deanna and Lisa and I said, okay, I'm going to start experimenting with food, and my dear friend Noreen here, who came over to my house and sampled quite a lot of things, good and bad, thank you very much. So I started packaging food together according to eating every 3 hours. And if you figure it out, you're probably consuming roughly 300 calories each sitting, between 300 and 350. So I started packaging everything together. So I said, well, gee, how much do I charge for this? I didn't know nothing about the food industry. So I called my accountant and I said, well, how much do I charge for this? He's like, well, Jen, how much does it cost you to make it? And I said, about $2. He says, well, you should at least double your profit. So I said, okay. And then I deliver. So he said, well, how about $4.99 each? I said, okay, great. So I now have an item that I'm going to sell for $4.99. Now what do I do? So I contact the health department. And oh my gosh, if you want to open a restaurant, there's a lot of red tape. A lot of red tape that you have to go through. And because I'm a student, and I also coach volleyball at the college, I'm doing personal training, and I have a lovely 10-year-old and 14-year-old. And a husband that I have to take care of. How in the heck am I going to do a restaurant? Well, there's a provision in the state of Ohio that you are allowed to serve 13 people a day and still do it out of your home. So I said, well, bingo. I can have 13 people that I can make meals for per day, still cook out of my home, and do everything else that I love to do. So that's what I did. I probably, 3 weeks? 3 weeks. Sold out. No more spots available. So I am absolutely at capacity. I take on no more new customers. I am at my peak. I make this food. I prepare the crock pots in the morning. I come home, I package them, I label them nice and simple. On a menu, I put everything that I make for the week. I email it to my customers. They email it back to me, how many they want, of what, and I deliver it to their front door. I swap out bags on Sundays. They leave their check inside. Nice little business. Okay? Any one of you guys can do that. And if you want more information on it, please let me know. I will help you. okay? I am able now to, my family, they all eat this way. It has absolutely changed my life and changed my entire family and my extended family and my players and my friends. And so this opportunity is available to you. The other thing that I want to say to you is, you know, there's a lot of obstacles that you're going to come across in your life growing up. I'm 40 years old, and I feel like I've lived 100 lives. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I want to leave you with some wise words. First and foremost, I know money is important. I know how important it is to have what you want. But let me tell you, there's going to come a point in your life when you're going to wish you did what's deep down in your heart that you want to do that makes you happy. It's going to catch up to you. And what you don't want to do is be in a position like me where I already have my children, I have my family, I want to spend more time with them, and now I'm back at school trying to prepare myself to do what I really was probably meant to do. But I was so misguided by somebody in my life that I didn't think about what I wanted and what made me happy and follow that as my passion. So words to the wise. Follow what's in your heart. Don't listen to what everybody else tells you. You know you the best, and you know what's going to make you happy. So, you know, really take that and think about it really deep and hard, because you can waste a lot of time in your life. And then the other message that I want to give to you is those of you that, you know, think, well, gee, I've had a rough life. You know, I'm never going to be this. I'm never going to be that. You know, there's a lot more people out there that have had rough lives. People that know me, my players, you know, Soto, this is one of my players here. When she first met me, everybody says, oh, gee, you know, she's probably rich. She has this great life. She's this, she's that. She hasn't had to work hard. You know, and then when you get to know me, you know, I was 10 years old. My mom committed suicide. I had to come live with my father. My father was extremely abusive. I got taken out of the home because he beat the heck out of me. I got put in a foster home in Green Acres out here in Oberlin. I was molested when I was 13 years old. At that point, I told you I went into foster care. I had foster parents. I went to Cleveland State University on a full basketball scholarship. I'll tell you one of the biggest mistakes. I was on the basketball court. I had a full ride. Basketball coach said to me, I missed a layup. I was having a really bad day, and I missed a layup, and the coach said, what, were you out drinking, Jennifer? Because he says that to all the players. I took off my jersey. I walked over to him, and I laid my jersey on his shoulder, and I left. I walked away from a full ride at Cleveland State. One of the biggest mistakes I ever did. Another one of the big mistakes that I did. And then I got married thinking, oh, a guy's going to make everything happen for me. I just need to find that man that's going to make my life so perfect. And I did that route, and that didn't work. And I tried it again, because sometimes it takes us a long time to learn that it's us that we have to fix and make ready and have a great life. And then you find that wonderful person to share that life with. So I chased that. And it took me until I'm 40 years old. I'm the happiest person. I'm the happiest in my life that I've ever been. I have great friends. I love to be here. I love what I do with all of my heart. And I'm very passionate about helping people because I'm happy. So don't think, you got dealt a bad deck of cards and you don't have a chance, because you do. It's all about what you want. Learn your lessons. Be good to people. And be happy. Follow your heart. So that's my message to you today. So please finish these muffins. Does anybody have any questions? There has to be one, two. Yeah.
Are you competing in the Lakewood event this weekend?
I am. I am. I will be in the Lakewood's having, actually it's next Saturday, the Lieberman Show, and I will be competing in the Masters division for the first time. So I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, so anybody that wants to come out and support and scream, maybe my last one, the diet gets pretty tough after a while. Yes?
Did you have to get any special certification, like in nutrition or diet?
I did. I actually have 2 certifications. There's one that I highly recommend through the Cooper Institute. And does everybody know Mary Jo DiGiandomenico? Okay. Everybody knows Mary Jo. Okay, MJ's a fantastic source to get information. She helped guide me in my path to nutrition. So ask her. There's 2 certifications that are wonderful programs to do. And if anybody wants to learn a little bit more, you are more than welcome. I live really close. I live on Overbrook Road, right by Elyria Catholic High School. And if anybody wants to come cook with me for a day or learn more about this, if you want to pick up a couple clients yourself, it's not as hard as you think. And you can cook for yourself and a couple other people and have some good gas money for your car and your rent and stuff like that. So, anybody else? Come on. Don't be shy. Do you like it? It is. And, you know, go ahead.
What are the certifications that you took?
So far, I took the AFA that you do through the school. That's the one that I had the panic attack with the beat of the music thing. I'm done with the personal training program here. I'm just working on the associates part. Like I said, I have a couple classes. I'm taking the NCSF, I believe, in October, along with the ACSM, I believe that is. So I'm going to have those 2 certifications and the AFA, and then I have my nutrition, and I think that's sufficient. And then I am going to go through the Akron program, the exercise science. So I can't get enough information about it, so I love it. So yeah, so that's it. And if anybody wants to watch one of the group exercise or maybe participate, I'm sure you can jump into a class and see what it's all about. Like I told you, I'm BOSU crazy, so I'm all about working on the BOSU. I don't really lift a lot of weights. I do everything, cross-training, plyometric, that kind of stuff. So, anything else? And I know you don't want my advice on men? No, okay. I've gotten better now, come on. All right, well, it was great. It was great talking to you guys today.